You're planning on heading to New England for a fall road trip adventure. I traveled to New England for the past 2 years to chase fall foliage, and in this video, I'm going to share with you everything you need to know to plan your own adventure. Let's dive in. When is the best time to go? Typically, peak fall foliage in New England will happen during the first 2 weeks of October, but this is difficult to plan and say this is exactly when it's going to be each year. There are multiple different factors such as how much rain there was, how dry the season was, and a lot of different factors that will take into account when peak fall foliage will happen. How do you then track peak fall foliage? Well, there are multiple resources that I personally use. I use the New England Fall Foliage Tracker on Google. I joined a New England Fall Foliage Facebook group where people are posting live updates of it every year. How long should you go for? I recommend going for a week so that you can be as flexible as possible in catching peak or surrounding peak. Maybe you're a little bit earlier, a little bit late. A week will allow you an adequate amount of time to drive around, explore the different areas of New England, and try to hit peak. Where should you stay on your New England fall road trip adventure? The first year I flew in to Birmingham, Vermont, and the second year I flew into Boston, Massachusetts. The first year my approach was basically to rent a car, have it for the whole week. I was actually ended up being there for 2 weeks, and just be as flexible as possible, so I didn't book any hotels in advance. And what this was helpful for was allowing me to, for example, if peak was happening in Maine, I had already booked a hotel but in New Hampshire, then I wouldn't be in the right region, so I would book hotels as I would go. And this can be more expensive, but it does allow you to be as flexible as possible for chasing the peak fall foliage. The other approach that I took this past year, which is honestly the approach that I would recommend to you, is renting a camper van. I flew into Boston, Massachusetts and rented a camper van from Walden Campervans. I loved the flexibility of this approach because you're able to drive around and literally sleep in your van, and this van is amazing. What I loved about renting a camper van with Walden Campervans is that the Adventure Ready van, Annie, is the one that we had, was ready to go and so perfect for the adventure. Welcome to New England. We have rented a van from Walden Campervans. I'll show you inside. We are going to be driving all around chasing fall colors in this van, and it is literally the cutest thing ever. Let me show you inside. Hi. What's up? Dude, perfection in here. It's so cute. All the storage space we could need. We've got like a full kitchen and setup here. And
perfect.
Yes.
Literally slept better than we've slept in months.
Yes. So good. And then we have this super sweet welcome message here too. Thank you so much, Walden Campervans. Popcorn, coffee, and then out here too, we've got all the adventure things. Surviving the great outdoors, lantern, hammock, everything. So the really cool thing about this van is that it's got a rooftop as well, and it's totally like solar powered and everything. This van is amazing. Let me show you this ladder around the back. With this ladder right here, actually, let's go up there. Let's go up there together. Let's see if I can climb this one-handed. So you basically can climb up to the roof, and we're on the roof and just hang out on the roof of the van and have a great time. And these are the solar panels, and then it has this like air ventilation too. Perfect for watching sunsets, hanging out, having a good time. It is so cute. I'm obsessed. Love this van. Okay, so traveling with this camper van has honestly been one of the best parts of doing a New England road trip. It's something that I wish I did last year when I was road tripping all around here, because we had a rental car last year, but trying to find hotels every night was such a mess. So honestly, having this camper van has been amazing. Some of my favorite parts of this van are, one, the bed is unbelievably comfortable. I'm 5'6", and there's plenty of room on either side for me to like stretch out, sleep comfortably. You can cook all your own meals here. The fridge is massive, and up top here you can hang out and watch the sunset. And Nikki and I are actually getting excited because we found the most beautiful spot here that we're posted up on. It's a beautiful river alongside like a bunch of fall trees. Yeah.
Is this like a gourmet dinner in a van? Like what? First of all, this smells so good. Second, it looks so good.
I'm so excited.
We've been dying for food for like hours now, so let's go.
The van has everything that you need, and you're even equipped with heat at night as well. If you're ever gonna need it, it's there for you. The van is perfectly insulated and has so many amazing features that I loved, so it really is so perfect. I strongly recommend renting a camper van from Walden Campervans for your New England road trip adventure. It really is the best way to adventure and explore the area. That being said, if you have a camper van, then where do you sleep? How do you find campsites? This is the approach that I would recommend. There are 4 websites where you can find them. The first one is freecampsites.net. This is a great go-to website for finding free or dispersed camping. Be sure to read the reviews from previous campers to see what it's currently like. The next one is thedyrt.com, dyrt.com. This website provides information and reviews on different campsites. Then you have blm.gov. This helps you find dispersed camping on public lands. Campendium helps you find free campsites in your area. There are also paid options as well. So for example, these are typically nicer and have better facilities that you can use. There's recreation.gov, state park websites, and Hip Camp is an awesome place to look for really fun, unique, quirky campgrounds that you can go to, whether with a tent or with a van. Where are the best spots to go to? Well, I've got an entire video outlined to exactly that. All the best spots to explore in New England, from New Hampshire to Vermont to Maine, Rhode Island, Connecticut. There are so many amazing spots, and in my other video, which I will link right here, I share with you and bring you along for all the adventures to those spots. Some of the other spots that I adventured to this year that I didn't get to last year was the Y Landing Marina in New Hampshire, and then Rhode Island itself. The Newport area is so adorable. The second beach is a lovely spot for sunrise and sunset. We parked there with the van and loved being out by the ocean. Newport is adorable. They have a lot of festivals around fall time in October as well. And please note for New York, although it is technically not a part of New England, Upstate New York is absolutely gorgeous, and there are so many incredible fall colors. My favorite hike in New England was Indian Head in the Adirondacks. This is a long hike, and you do need to reserve permits 2 weeks in advance, so definitely be sure to look up the details for doing that. What I would recommend for choosing a date for that is to try to make it in that second week of October time frame to try to hit the sweet spot of getting peak fall foliage, and make sure to set a notification to make that reservation 2 weeks before the date that you want to go. The best way to find more information on that is to read detailed blog posts that provide you the information for doing that Indian Head hike. It is a long hike though, and definitely something not for beginners. I would recommend preparing for this hike. The other best way that you can find information on hikes and outdoor activities in New England is using the All Trails app. I love opening up and using the All Trails app when I'm traveling or adventuring in a new area. All Trails has all of the hike distances, lengths, pictures, and reviews from other hikers to help you on your adventure. A huge tip that I will share for you for chasing fall in New England is basically to be as flexible as possible. It's really hard to predict nature and leaves and the timing of everything, but the great thing about having a car or a camper van is that you can drive around and be flexible. So the New England area, it really isn't that big. You can be very, very flexible and drive all around. So for example, if you land in Stowe, Vermont, and you find that it's a little bit past peak there, which means that the leaves are a little bit brown, they're not all colorful anymore, just drive south, and more often than not, you can start to reach and find peak as you go south. Or vice versa, if you find the opposite, you can head north even into Canada or Maine, New Hampshire to try to find more colorful leaves. What I really loved and observed on my New England road trip is that Vermont is so special in fall because it has the highest concentration of those red maple leaves that are really so beautiful and unique. I grew up in Virginia, and although our falls here are very, very beautiful, we don't have as many of those reds as Vermont does. And then another really fun part of doing a New England road trip adventure is just pulling off onto random side roads and adventuring and seeing a beautiful lake and a reflection and trying out new cafes. That's one of my favorite parts of doing a New England fall road trip. And as always, when traveling and spending time in nature, be sure to practice leave no trace. This includes picking up your trash and leaving nature spots better than when you found them. Read up on the leave no trace principles, and please be sure to obey these when you're spending time in nature. Happy leaf peeping. Fall really is such a beautiful time of year as the seasons transition from summer to winter. Fall signifies change quite literally in the seasons, but also for the timeline of humans as well. Change is really the only constant in life, and fall shows us just how beautiful change can be. So happy adventuring. I hope you enjoy. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if this video was helpful. I am Mahna Travel on all social platforms. Be sure to reach out to me with any questions. Here's to living your most extraordinary life. Happy travels!